Hello everybody, I am Razorblade Mango, and I am here today to talk about, at long last, my most anticipated game of 2015. No, it was not The Witcher 3, it was not Bloodborne, it was not Mortal Kombat X, it was Batman: Arkham Knight. The conclusion to the Arkham trilogy that started, oh man, I cannot believe it's started, I believe 6 or 7 years ago with Asylum, and then 2011 was City, and here we are 4 years later with Arkham Knight. First things first, you don't have to worry about spoilers. This is going to be a spoiler-free impressions video. It's pissing me off that so many other articles and reviews are spoiling the big things in this game that they don't even offer a spoiler review at times. They just go, oh, well, this happens, and so-and-so is here, and this and that, and so-and-so and that, and it's like, what are you doing? What the hell are you guys doing? So pretty much all of Rocksteady's trouble to hide the secrets in the trailers has been for nothing thanks to these assholes. So I'm not going to be like them. I'm going to keep this spoiler-free, so don't worry. Normally, I don't do these kind of spoiler things until at least a week after the game is out, and I might come back and do one just because... and I can't believe I'm starting out with this. Most of my problems with this game come from the story. So, I'm not going to be talking about that. I just want to put that out there. So, because if I tried to explain why, it would just be massive spoiler alert the whole way through. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep that possibly for a separate video. And and the E3 Part 2 video, that's coming real soon, guys. I appreciate your guys' patience. I did record a version of it, and I didn't really like it. I just sounded really tired. I didn't think I gave the Sony and Kingdom Hearts stuff their due excitement. So I'm going to record that again today sometime, so look for that in the future. And also, yeah, let's get started. So Batman Arkham Knight, it's basically, what's it about? Basically, it's set a year after the events of Arkham City. The crime has gone down, now the Joker is dead. Spoiler alert for Arkham City, but you guys should know by now. The Joker is dead. He's long gone. The game literally begins with you burning him alive. Not alive. Burning his corpse. So, he's dead, alright? He's dead. He is not in the game. So, crime falls, and then a year later, an outbreak happens in Gotham City where someone is exposed to Scarecrow's new fear toxin, who's making a return from after being horribly attacked and presumably killed at the end of Asylum, but, you know, this is Batman. Batman villains don't die except for the Joker, which was cool. So, we have that. And now the whole city is being evacuated, like everybody is gone, and now the only people that remain are the criminals. They've taken over the city, there's riots, there's cops being killed left and right, there's firefighters being kidnapped and beaten and people being tortured and all that shit. It's a pretty horrible situation. So, who comes in to save the day? Of course, Batman. Batman himself. And yeah, that's pretty much where the game picks up. Starts off. And I must admit, I played this on the PlayStation 4, so I didn't have the awful time a lot of people have been having with the PC version, which has been proclaimed to be one of the worst PC ports in a long time. Just atrocious. So, but thankfully, you know, they did not the right thing, they did the smart thing by removing this from Steam. So, it's not going to be available again until it's been fixed. So, for people out there that play on the PC, if you haven't picked it up already, you know, you probably dodged a bullet there with how crappy it was. So, I played on the PlayStation 4, and I'm having a hard time trying to think of a place to start with this. Oh, well, I'll just cut to the chase. This game disappointed me. It actually... it disappointed me. It really did. I like I said, most of my disappointment comes from the story, which I can't talk about because it's I can't. Even if I said one sentence about it, you guys would be able to know the whole story. Okay, so let's talk about the other thing that really, really annoyed me about the game. The Batmobile. Okay, the Batmobile is being marketed as this big thing. It's on the front cover. It takes so much of the front cover up that even they have to keep the title on the box art small just to have enough room for the Batmobile. And it's been, marketed since day one as a big feature. You get to drive the Batmobile. You get to have the Batmobile. You get to have combat with the Batmobile. You get to solve puzzles with the Batmobile. And the Batmobile is over fucking used so much that it becomes annoying. You can't go 5 minutes in the main campaign without having to use the fucking Batmobile. The Batmobile is everywhere. Even when you're doing things as Batman, you have to have the Batmobile on the side. And it just gets so annoying to use this thing every time, especially the combat, which, if you're playing on the PlayStation 4, make one little tweak in the options menu as far as the Batmobile goes. Change the combat setting to switch with R1. Not hold with L2. I don't know what bonehead at Rocksteady decided that should be the default setting for the Batmobile, because it makes the whole damn thing annoying to use, and it hurts your finger because you constantly have to have your finger on the L2 button. So finally, change that to R1. That makes it so much better, feels much more comfortable. It's a lot better. And the combat itself, it just gets so repetitious and boring, and it gets frustrating, especially towards the end, when you have to fight all these multiple different tanks, and you have to dodge out of the way, and you have to do the same damn thing over and over again. It just gets boring. Granted, I appreciate that they add in a layer of strategy to it when you're dealing with the I believe they're called the Cobra tanks. These Cobra tanks that come in that you cannot take head on because they'll destroy you in a shot or two. So you have to sneak up behind them with the Batmobile and fire at their backside, and then run away. You have to change quickly from battle mode to pursuit mode, go away, and then once they've got you off your radar, you gotta do it again by going after them. And that part I liked. That part required strategy, tactics. It actually made you feel like Batman. This other stuff with the, and even the pursuit mode, it kind of does, but the stuff with the combat mode, it does not. It conflicts a lot with what you have to do in the game. And the game encouraged you all the time, oh, you have to be stealthy. You have to be stealthy with best Batman in these situations. You gotta use tactics. And then you switch over to the Batmobile shit, and the Batmobile is just, oh, tank battle, dodge out of the way, blow shit up, woo! It's just, I didn't really care for it. And that wouldn't be so much of a problem if they'd kept it to a minimum. If they had kept the combat stuff to a minimum. Maybe do it, I don't know, once every, 6 or 7 locations. But I feel like almost every location in the game, they throw you into this combat section, which is so dull. And then you have to do the puzzle stuff, which is so dull. And you have to do the environmental navigation with Batman in the Batmobile, which is so dull. And they overuse it so much, which is frustrating, because this game, everything else about it in the campaign, as far as gameplay goes, is great. The Batman stuff, the Predator stuff, awesome. The combat, still awesome. They bring new elements to both of those that I really like. For example, in the Predator mode, now you have soldiers that can track you via if you use your detective mode too much. So if you use it too much, you'll actually see a meter start to fill on the screen where some guy in the group is tracking your location based on that. And that I really liked. It requires you to use it sparingly. It adds another layer of strategy to it. There's also the fact that even when you're in detective mode, some people you cannot see because they're wearing armor that deflects your scanning with the detective mode. So even if you can see other people in the room, there might still be those few people wearing that kind of armor that you can't see. So you have to find them with your naked eye, which that's a really great strategy as well. That, again, that it feels like these guys are adapting. It feels like they see what you're doing, and they will actually dynamically adapt. And another cool thing is now they have a medic. So even if you take out certain people, a medic can walk up and revive them, making all your hard work futile. So again, strategy, tactics. Take the medic out first. Always take the medic out first. That's one of my tips with that. So identify the medic, especially if the medic is wearing one of those which again, that gets really tough towards the end. It gets a lot harder, which, good. That's the right kind of challenge when it's this tactics-based stuff that I really like, because again, it makes you feel like Batman. It fits the tagline of the game. Be the Batman. You are Batman in those situations, and it's really cool. And then they add stuff to the combat as well. Like, there's a guy, the medic is in that as well. And there's a guy now that can zap enemies with electricity, so if you try to punch them, not only won't take damage, you'll take damage, and it will be quite a bit, especially on the harder difficulties. So you have to be careful of those guys. You have to do your usual jump over them and find other people. So it's a balancing game. You have to think fast, and you have to use really good strategy, again, with the combat. So it's a word that I'm using over again. Strategy, tactics. That's what makes the Arkham series great, is that when you put these two things together, when you actually add an element of, it's not just going around punching people and beating the shit out of them. You have to think fast, think on your feet, which is excellent. That is what I love about this series, and I feel like Arkham Knight captures that better than ever in any of the games. It's just unfortunate that just the Batmobile stuff is just so... And again, it wouldn't be too much of a problem if they didn't overuse it, if they didn't seem compelled to justify its existence at every possible minute. It's annoying. Please stop. So, there's that. Of course, there's also some issues with environmental navigation. Sometimes you don't get the right grappling in, or it will... I've encountered things where if you try to grapple onto one building, the animation will actually have it to where you switch a 180 degree and blast you in the other direction, which that gets really frustrating too. There's also an instance when I feel like the shield guys in the combat, the way you have to take them down by stun, and then you do the tap the dump attack where you slam down on them. That is really irritating to pull off this time, because the game keeps on... It felt really, finely tuned in Arkham Asylum and especially in Arkham City. And in Arkham Knight, it feels like a step backwards for that, because it's so difficult to pull off. It just feels clunky. But everything else about this is really, really excellent. The graphics, oh my god, the graphics, even at a disappointing 30 frames per second on the consoles, it looks gorgeous. It's one of the best looking console games I've seen so far this generation. The voice acting, of course, from Kevin Conroy, and then you got John Noble as a Scarecrow. They're excellent. Everybody is excellent in this game. All the voice acting. The score is good. I don't think it's as great and memorable as it is in Arkham City, but especially Azrael's theme. Azrael's theme is one of the best in the series. It gives me chills just listening to it. But I don't know. I don't really feel... So this is probably going to be a short impressions video, because everything that I want to talk about is story related. And I just feel like that would be a complete disservice. So I'm not going to. I'm going to end it right here. So, I almost forgot. Okay, one more thing before I sign off. This is going to sound strange, but another one of my big problems with the game is that it's a similar problem I have with Origins, where this city, Gotham City, I don't feel like it has a lot of personality in this. One of the most essential elements to an open world game is, of course, personality. You have to have a personality with your environments. Grand Theft Auto would not be Grand Theft Auto if the environments, Vice City, San Andreas, Liberty City, if they did not all drip with this ambiance and style and like I said, it's like the city becomes another character in the game. Which is fair, because they wouldn't be the masters of open world games if they didn't know how to do this, if Rockstar didn't know how to do this. Which is something I felt like Rocksteady was able to do in Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, because Arkham Asylum, it's dripping with a sense of history and it feels lived in, it feels like a place that could exist in the outside world. It does not feel like your standard video game structured level. Same with Arkham City. Looks great, feels alive. It feels like a place that is being lived in. Gotham City, on the other hand, I don't feel like has any kind of big personality to it, which is one of my problems I had with Arkham Origins. Because maybe it's because it's abandoned, and which is a better reason than what they gave in Arkham Origins, which, oh, there's a curfew, everybody, stay inside. So that was dumb. I didn't like that in Origins. And I can accept that better in Arkham Knight, because the city is literally abandoned and evacuated. But I don't really get that sense of, even it was so weird. I don't really know how they didn't do this, because there's so much detail in the environments. The graphics are impressive. The lighting is amazing. The rain textures is so good. But it just lacks that certain something. I just can't put my finger on it. I don't... It's just hard. It's hard to explain, because it's just something that you feel. I felt like Arkham City had a personality. I don't think Gotham has a personality in Arkham Knight, which is one of the biggest disappointments, because looking at the concept art, it looks gorgeous. It looks like there's a lot of history and a lot of style and, again, personality to these environments. But it doesn't, unfortunately. So it just doesn't. So, which is disappointing. Anyhow, oh, and I'm saying, okay, keep saying, I sound like Uncle from Jackie Chan. One more thing. Okay, these DLC packs are a fucking joke. I'm sorry. This Harley Quinn and Red Hood shit, totally disappointing. That's not related to the Bane game, granted, but it's a part of it, and it's so disappointing. They're both like, you can beat them in 15 minutes. Which, the way they were advertised, it was going to be this whole new story pack. And you could beat them in 15 minutes! They're so short, and they're so anticlimactic. What the fuck? What the fuck? It's such bullshit that they were marketing this thing up to be this huge deal, and now it's just this 15 to 20 minute, and they literally have the same pattern. It's the beginning, there's 3 levels. Beginning is combat. The middle part is stealth. The ending is a boss battle where you have to fight the guy by punching him over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then you have to face off against his little goons as well. And it's boring. Both of them just, they're so dull. And besides, I mean, there's clever ideas in both of them, but they're so short and uneventful that it just feels lame. I'm sorry, it's totally fucking lame. So yeah. Anyway, that's about it. So, thank you for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Batman Arkham Knight. Do not put spoilers in the comments section. If you do, I will see them. I'm the first that sees them. So if I see that, then this is probably one of the times that I'll probably turn on comments monitoring with this. So Anyway, if I see it, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna show it, and I'll probably ban you from my channel. I'm sorry. With this, I'm gonna have a very strict no spoilers policy, and you know, you can criticize me for trying to do censorship, but in this case, yeah, I'm doing it. So, too bad. Don't spoil it for people. It's just that simple. Don't spoil it for people. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.